Hello there, mindful seer people. So today we're up to September 29th, and we're a few days out now from the Hurricane Helene. And folks are, now in response and respond mode in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm sure many of the other places that were affected by Helene. And as far as our series for the eclipse season goes, the Mindful Seer readings for the collective, we are on I today for intellect or intellectual life. Yesterday we were on emotions. You can watch yesterday's video to check that out if you like. And this is the B.E.I.S.M intuitive development and mindfulness method, a system for 5-frequency wellness. And this is sort of an expansion of body, mind, spirit, if you will. It goes, has a little more a little finer grain and depth and breadth built into it. And this system comes out of my own personal practice and my lifelong quest, interest, and study of practice of body, mind, spirit living. My own interest and practice is in metaphysics. I took refuge as a Buddhist when I was 27. Before that, I studied transcendentalism and, a lot of the new thought type of things that were happening around, the early part of the 20th century. Yes. All right. So theosophy, that's the other one I was thinking of. So that was my beginnings, in terms of a extant tradition or, body of knowledge. I started with the transcendentalists and that sort of thing. And then later took refuge as a Buddhist when I was 27. So I'm a lifelong meditator. I learned to meditate when I was 12. My mom took me to learn transcendental meditation, and I started doing like hatha yoga when I was about 10 years old. So throughout my life, I've known how to calm and center myself at a somatic level. Thank goodness, because there have been many challenges. And there was a lot of early disruption, in my family situation. But it was like in nature where you find both the poison and the antidote, within a small radius. And so fortunately, I was blessed to be able to grab onto ideas about higher consciousness very early. And so I've been in that track pretty much all of my life, even though I also had a typical professional career in human service, workforce development, working with people from basic counseling, drug and alcohol addicted teenagers, all the way to the director of a continuing ed department. So in 2016, I started working primarily in the woo, what I say, working in the woo with people, also integrating my psychic gifts that opened after a dark night of the soul that took place between 2009 and about 2012, 13-ish. So we're going to check out what is going on, with the collective in terms of guidance, all right, from the matrix, from the, you could call it the great mystery. What is it that the divine mind has for us today to support everyone as far as their intellect and their thinking, about where we are in terms of the transitions associated with the eclipse series from the beginning, from the eclipse of the moon going through to the eclipse of the sun. Okay, what's going on with that for everyone, and what is going on now with how we respond to a pretty intense weather event that has caused a lot of shock and trauma and loss. How are we going to respond to this? Okay, so I have 3 decks in here. I have the Voyager Tarot, the Sustain Yourself deck, and the White Squirrel deck. These are all created by James Wanless. I use this bowl, I call it the baking bowl of belief, because everything that we are creating and manifesting comes out of our belief systems, both as individuals and as a collective. Okay. Oh, right. Wow, this is so beautiful. We're getting the manifestation card. Okay, so this is really having faith that things will return to a beautiful state once again. The sun, is symbolic of life, of regeneration. We see the beautiful sea here. We see a couple walking on the beach. This card is very, um, it's sort of the 3D version, of the universe, which we saw in Mastermind at the end of last series. This is potentiated reality brought into the 3D. When we are actually living and feeling and experiencing wellness and abundance and comfort. So, for those people who have seemingly lost everything, the trick will be to be able to step into whatever comfort is available to them in the now moments that are coming, and to have faith and positive anticipation for the new things to come. That's a pretty tall order. So those of us around those people are the ones that really are the ones to hold space for that, for those people, because they're going to have to process a lot of grief and loss to get back to this place. But sometimes I found, especially, in my counseling career and in my career using my gifts, to offer guidance to people, most people can get through dark times when they can see or imagine or believe in a light at the end of the tunnel. So, we see all this golden light in this card. And, those of us that do the kind of work I do, as a collective, we often refer to ourselves as light workers. And, that means that we are holding sacred space to bring light through, from the higher levels, from the higher dimensions, into places where there may be darkness. So, darkness is just the absence of light. And there will be, some time that it will take people to, get back to this place. But if they can really believe in their heart that eventually this place will return, it's going to take a lot of the pain and stress, out of what they're currently experiencing. And, then back to us, those of us that, I was pretty much unscathed, by this weather event. I had some debris down in my yard. That's pretty much it. It's up to us to hold this light. For the people that are only miles from here, people have complete total devastation and loss down on Lake Clearwater Beach. And so, yeah, this is what's going on right now for those of us that are okay. And in terms of the bigger picture, people who have not experienced this weather event, once again, this is, even though this eclipse season has brought up a lot of darkness and a lot of emotional stuff that was unprocessed, or people have felt like they were going backwards in their spiritual progress, this is like hey, we're coming to that eclipse of the sun soon. Okay, that's going to be on October 2nd. That's a partial eclipse. So then, then this really deep eclipse season will be completing, and we'll be moving into some new territory. Let me just look and see what Spirit wants to show me. Okay, so there's coins also in this card, and that's prosperity. And there's some tomatoes, it looks like, down here as well. And then, so often James Wanless includes something to me up in the sky that looks like space or infinite potential. So, and if you look, you almost see four quadrants here. You've got dark sky, light blue. You've got something that looks, well, you've got earth and water kind of both down here. But often there's the four, okay? There's logic, which implies logic. It implies seasons. It implies balance, implies equanimity. So sort of the foundation for all of the aspects of being able to bring things into manifestation, which the intellect is sort of, really important for that, because that's where we get our linear sequential happening. And I was actually reflecting on what are people going to need to do who were disrupted, by this weather event. They are really going to have to stay in the day and start strategizing, their next moves for how to create some, some safety for themselves and some comfort. And that could just be, they may have to take that really slow. Like, maybe they're going to be somewhere for 4 days, and then maybe they'll find a place to be for a month. And so it's not going to be, this may not be all happening instantaneously. It could be, one step at a time, is my guess, is how this is going to happen for a lot of people. One thing at a time, one day at a time. But to me, this is saying, hey, you can get through this. You know, you can manifest again. You can recreate something different. Maybe you want the same thing back. Maybe you're going to get the same thing back that you had before, but that it is definitely possible to have things, you know, in a comfortable and a, you know, an environment, creating an environment that will make you feel um, comfortable and safe again. All right, so that's what's coming through for today. And I sometimes like to do a little extra something and see if Spirit has anything else to add. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, beautiful. So sometimes, you know, we forget as humans here, down here in planet Earth, doing human things, that our ancestors are available to us on the other side of the veil and often want to aid and support us, you know, when we are having hard times. This is definitely a time for people to call on the extra spiritual support that might be on that's definitely on the other side. And a lot of times, you know, people tend to connect probably more readily with maybe one or two people that they were very close to during their life that have crossed over. And I believe that they can intervene and help us in ways that are unseen. And this would definitely be a time to also call on the strength. You know, think about the strength that your ancestors showed, you know, in all sorts of different situations in their lifetimes, and you carry that strength as well. So this is a time to know that and, you know, take that into consideration as you move forward. And so we're wrapping up the Eclipse B.E.I.S.M series. We have 2 more days of that. We're going to do the Spirit Soul is tomorrow, and then Mastermind will be the following day. So that will be the completion of 3 cycles of B.E.I.S.M during the eclipse season. My name is Kristen Giesland, Mindful Seer. I am available until through the 2nd virtually for mini sessions, which I don't normally offer except at public events. I will do that virtually at this time. My website is mindfulseer.com. You can go there and see that on the events page. There's a place to send money. Please just call me to schedule. I don't have the schedule on the website up yet. 727-678-3761. I will send you a Zoom link. You can see testimonials on my Facebook page. I mean, you can see them on my Facebook page or on my website. And also there's some Google reviews as well. So you can see how people feel, you know, after they've had, you know, an experience either with a B.E.I.S.M reading or with theta healing or both. There's also people that I've done more longer term work with, mindfulness coaching, etc., who have chimed in, you know, in those places. I will also be available for live readings in Oldsmar at Phantom History House on the Thursday the 3rd, I believe it is. Yeah, Thursday the 3rd, this coming week. And so that's an opportunity as well to actually get to tour Phantom History House and have either a reading or theta healing or both with me in a very beautiful B&B, a well-appointed B&B. So thanks for tuning in today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Peace and happy.